Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 50th episode in our AI and You podcast series. Today is Thursday, March 25th, 2021, and I'm your host, Viqar Saidi. I'm a computer scientist, an engineer, a lecturer, and a consultant. I'm also the author of several books. My most recent book is about artificial intelligence and is titled The Genome Affair. The Genome Affair is a speculative work. It examines what the world might be like if some of the more extraordinary capabilities forecast to be realized in AI over the next 20 to 30 years were actually realized today. Given the growing list of frightening existential threats humankind now faces, the book pays particular attention to the impact AI is expected to have on world affairs. The book is available in ebook format for those who prefer to read on a digital device, but it's also available in a high-quality paperback edition. The Genome Affair is available on Amazon, so I hope you'll take the time to read it and to leave a review. Amazon book reviews are very helpful for writers. I'm very interested in how science and technology influence world affairs and the big questions facing humankind. Studying at the confluence of the great disciplines of human history, political science and thought, international affairs, science and technology offers a deep understanding and pedagogically important lessons of how advances in human endeavor have influenced and impacted civilization. I'm available to give talks on artificial intelligence and its related technologies, and on the impact AI is expected to have, or is already having, on our world. If you'd like to get in touch with me to arrange a web-based event or consulting meeting with your company or organization, you can find my contact info in the podcast notes below. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with others if you find the content valuable. Thank you. And now, on to today's podcast. In our last podcast, episode 49, I spoke about the future of government, industry, markets, and trade as we advance through the 21st century. In today's podcast, episode 50, I'll talk about the importance of AI and surveillance in implementing America's new strategy in the Middle East and its pivot to Asia. Let's get started. It's been relatively quiet in the Palestinian territories as of late. Perhaps this is because the Israeli government has been busy with so much domestic turmoil. After all, the Prime Minister has been battling for political survival as he contests his third election in the past 6 years. The Israeli electorate is sharply divided between conservative right-wing supporters of Prime Minister Netanyahu and those from the liberal left who are deeply concerned about the growing shadow of authoritarianism and demonization of academics, journalists, public intellectuals, and writers in Israeli society. In other words, anyone wanting to hold the government to account. Or perhaps the calm in the territories is a result of the coronavirus and the primary need of the Israeli government to vaccinate their society. It has certainly been a very impressive public health initiative by any measure. Or perhaps there is something more at play. In fact, the Middle East is in a state of flux unlike any other time in recent history. The Turks are actively asserting themselves in multiple conflicts and directions throughout the region, including Iraq, Libya, and Syria, in an effort to reclaim the mantle of Sunni leadership within the Muslim world, a sort of neo-caliphate. Iran is also projecting its power directly and by proxy throughout the region in an attempt to claim authority and to assert Shiite hegemony. Meanwhile, the Saudis and their protectorates in the Gulf are watching these developments with rising alarm as the U.S., their long-standing ally and first-tier supplier of military armaments, shifts focus away from the Middle East and towards China as their leading foreign policy objective. The Israelis, of course, remain as potent as they have ever been and intervene wherever and whenever they wish. Finally, in the vacuum left in the wake of America's foreign policy recalibration, the Russians are aggressively stepping in as America's replacement, a self-appointed new sheriff in town. It's a tense time for all players in the region, as well as those around the world with commercial and strategic interests in the Middle East, particularly since no one can predict how things would settle, given the recent availability and knowledge of how to effectively deploy Fourth Industrial Revolution technology to contain security threats. The Israelis, for example, now use drone reconnaissance and satellite imagery to great effect. They collect large volumes of citizen surveillance data from the Palestinian territories and then use artificial intelligence to process this data in an effort to extract actionable intelligence regarding potential security threats. They also maintain lethal autonomous weapons systems on standby to undertake any corrective measure they deem necessary. The new security regime is so effective that the number of Israeli Defense Force troops required to assert Israeli authority and control over the West Bank and Gaza continues to ebb. The Saudis have historically sided with Palestinian interests against those of the Israelis, at least in principle or in public. But they now find themselves aligning with the Israelis as the Americans fade from the scene. This steady warming of relations between the Saudis, the Gulf Arabs, and the Israelis, a third axis, is a product of growing anxiety over Turkey's neo-caliphate ambitions, as well as Iranian threats now looming on the horizon. These threats, along with the Abraham Accords engineered by Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, without any involvement from the U.S. Department of State and its diplomatic corps, the Department of Defense, or the involvement of any American institutions whose explicit role is to advise and lead on such critical foreign policy initiatives, has essentially marginalized the plight of the Palestinians in the eyes of the regional Arab governments, as well as in the eyes of the Israeli regime. As the United States withdraws from the region and limits arms sales to the Saudis in what appears to be a successful effort to force an end to the 6-year war in Yemen, we can be certain that American intelligence will be using similar drone reconnaissance and satellite data processed by AI to ensure that once a JCPOA-style nuclear agreement is revived with the Iranians, surveillance technology and cyber monitoring will be very effective in ensuring compliance. AI-enabled surveillance and lethal autonomous weapon systems will also relieve U.S. intelligence and military apparatus of significant day-to-day responsibility so they can concentrate on ensuring multilateral efforts to contain China, including the new Quad alliance between Australia, India, Japan, and the United States, receive the attention necessary to make them effective as a check against rising Communist Party threats, be they political, scientific, or technological. If threats arise, the AI-enabled surveillance will raise the alarm, and that matter can be dealt with swiftly in the Middle East using laws and any collateral concerns rapidly contained. The U.S. government hopes this protocol will be sufficient to keep a lid on the Middle East while it pivots to Asia, but empowering the Saudis and Gulf Arabs by brokering the poorly considered Abraham Accords between them and the Israelis may result in unintended consequences. We may see conflict between the Saudi-Israeli axis against one of the other major players, Iran or Turkey, and this may draw the US back into the Middle East quagmire, this time with a Russian regime that has also entered the region in America's former role. It's a complex game of geostrategic maneuvers that can have dangerous consequences, so we will need patience to see whether AI and surveillance are sufficient to neutralize threats before they escalate into something much worse. Thank you for spending some time with me. I'm trying to follow the TED Talk format, and so I'm keeping these podcasts under 20 minutes. Let me know what you think. I hope you'll find these insights into artificial intelligence helpful, and I hope you'll read my new book, The Genome Affair. It's on Amazon. Until next time then, this has been the AI and You podcast with author Vicar Saidi.